Today we invite you to join us on a visit to Glasgow's merchant city. The name itself conjures pictures of urban affluence, but this area has known changing fortunes. However, it's to its prosperous past that we will look today. On leaving Argyle Street station, we turn right and head towards Tron Gate, which is the oldest paved street in the city. In the early 1800s, this area was frequented by the tobacco barons, bedecked in scarlet capes, tricorn hats and gold-topped canes. Our first stop on Trongate was the Britannia Music Hall, built in 1857 and described as the finest surviving music hall in Britain, and also one of Glasgow's best-kept secrets. Fortune shone on us that day, and we were invited in to glimpse the past. We entered the manager's office, which was adorned with pictures of the past performers, including Harry Lauder, Stan Laurel and Cary Grant. In the early days it housed a menagerie, waxworks, music hall and even freak shows in the attic. To our delight, we were invited up to the old balcony, which, although unlit and undergoing restoration, still retained its magical aura. During restoration, many objects have been found, no doubt dropped to fall between floorboards amid the crush of humanity and darkness. Interestingly, there was an old wedding ring which had been pressed and cut from an old penny, and numerous clay pipes which gave testimony to the murky atmosphere that must have prevailed. There was also waxwork parts and glass eyes which stirred the darker corners of the imagination. On leaving the Britannia, we carried on up Tron Gate to the Tron Steeple. The clock was originally part of an old church. The building was started in 1592 to house the Tron, or public weighing machine. The steeple straddled the pavement, but I wonder how many pedestrians look up to see the marvellous sculptures. The old Tron Church is now the booking office of the Tron Theatre and houses a model of the original church. The outside walls are still enhanced with the beautiful sculptures. We come to the end of Tron Gate at Glasgow Cross, where the toll steeple is sited. It is 7 stories high and was once part of a larger building, the toll booth, which housed the town clerk's office, council hall and the city prison. The debtors' prison had a steady stream of inmates who elected their own provost and generally ran the place like an exclusive club. It was here also that witches, thieves and murderers were summarily dealt with, by hanging if necessary. Glasgow Cross is the meeting point of the 5 major roads in the area. Across the road stands the Market Cross. Crosses like these stand all over Britain to mark the place where markets could legally be held. It is topped by a unicorn and carries the Glasgow motto, "Let Glasgow Flourish." Behind lies the Market building. These sculpted figures hold various tools and artefacts associated with Glasgow's trades. We turned left onto High Street, which was the most important thoroughfare of medieval Glasgow. We again turned left into Blackfriars Street, where stands the Babbitty Bowster pub, built in 1794 by Robert and John Adams. It was originally built as a house and still has its original Roman Doric doorway. Across the road is the old cheese market, now a restaurant. And behind that lies Cafe Godolphin, our favourite watering hole. Suitably refreshed, we headed off to the city halls, which lie at the top of Blackfriars Street. This constitutes a huge block, and the main entrance is topped by a basket of fruit. This was the venue for concerts, dances, etc., and notably a reading by Charles Dickens. Today it is bordered with trendy shops and coffee houses. The centre is used intermittently for exhibitions. We turned right to meet Ingram Street, and our first visit was to Ramshorn Kirk. Its height is partly due to the fact that it is built over a crypt, which houses the contents of the graves which were disturbed when the church was being built in 1825. This plaque commemorates Sir John Macdonald, born in the parish and subsequently Prime Minister of Canada in the late 17th century. Many Glaswegians daily walk over this pavement, unaware that beneath lies the remains of brothers Robert and Andrew Fowlis, who set up an Academy of Fine Arts in the city. Examples of their work are on display in the People's Palace. We entered Ramshorn Graveyard, an oasis of peace and calm. This is the unmarked grave of Pierre-Émile Langelier, lover and subsequently the alleged victim of poisoner Madeleine Smith. Some of the merchants who lived and worked in this area are buried here. Another grave of note is that of David Dale, a man whose great wealth was built on the cotton trade, and he was the founder of the great mill at New Lanark. With his son-in-law Robert Owen, he is credited with far-reaching social and educational reform. The iron cages round some of the graves were designed to foil the attempts of the body snatchers, who were intent on procuring bodies at a price for medical science. On leaving the cemetery, we carried along Ingram Street to Hutchison Hall, formerly Hutchison's Hospital, founded by the philanthropic brothers George and Thomas Hutchison. Here they stand for posterity, carved in 1694 and the oldest figures in Glasgow. The next block houses the Italia Centre, home to Versace. The rooftop statues denote Italia, Mercury, and Mercurius. The square inside is ultra-modern with modern sculptures. Note the tattoo on its posterior. Across the road lies the former Savings Bank of Glasgow, and latterly the Trustees Savings Bank. Above the doorway is the Glasgow coat of arms and a statue of St Mungo. The next block is home to Lanarkshire House, which started life as the Union Bank. The 8 shields and statues denote the bank's history. We turn down Glasford Street, which is home to Trades Hall, built by Robert Adams in the 1790s. This is the second oldest building in Glasgow, second only to the cathedral, and it is still used for its original purpose, which is a venue for meetings of various sorts. The interior has a wood-panelled entrance hall, leading to a beautiful staircase lit by skylights in the ceiling. We turned right onto Wilson Street to view the Sheriff Court. Its fine facade is dominated by a Greek Ionic portico, standing above a classical frieze. The frieze contains representations of the work of the judicial service and includes a chained prisoner and some solemn-looking men. Ominously, there is also a man who carries an axe. We retraced our steps to Glasford Street to see the warehouse, which is a handsome Art Nouveau former warehouse and is now a mouth-watering deli and coffee house. We turned right to meet Virginia Street, which is being extensively renovated. The Jacobean Corsetry is a notable building, in which the tobacco lords worked. Further along is Virginia Galleries. This used to be the tobacco exchange, where huge volumes of tobacco were once auctioned. Later it was the sugar exchange. At the corner of Virginia Street and Argyle Street is the ubiquitous Marks and Spencer's. But in former days this was the Black Bull Inn, and one of its more notable residents was Robert Burns. We are once more back at Argyle Street Station, ready for the homeward journey, where a street seller hawks his wares in the inimitable Glasgow style, carrying on the great tradition of the merchant city.
Take the bag, bananas!